the NBA Tip-Off Show. That's Tony Mejia. I'm Megan Payton. This is WagerTalk TV, and we have a fantastic Friday show for you. You're in for a special treat because you not only get 3 cappers today, you get 4 handicappers breaking down the 2 Game 6 games out west to determine who moves on to round 2, maybe send it to a Game 7. We will see. I'm Megan. This is Tony Mejia, Steve Merrill, Bryan Power, Andy Lang. We got ourselves a fun cast for Friday afternoon. Before we go into our first game of the night, we got to go around, hear what all the guys have going up at WagerTalk.com. Andy Lang, start us off. You've had a great week so far. We just did a show together yesterday. You see me again today. How are you?
I am doing great. Had a really nice last few days. We're 15-5, I believe, is the count. Run a really nice 3-0 NBA run. 4% NBA play is up right now. We got a really good weekend. We got a 4% lacrosse game that goes off tonight. We got 4% UFC play. So a lot of good things working. NHL's on a nice winning streak. MLB's on a nice winning streak. So looking forward to it. And all those plays are attached to the 4% NBA play. So you go grab the NBA play. You'll get the rest of the sports today.
Andy Lang, Formula One working out too. I heard you were on a great streak there. Fun to get and dabble into everything. I know that is one of your specialties. Tony Mejia, how are you? What do you have going on at WagerTalk.com this week?
I'm doing great. I mean, it's been a really nice week. Last 3 days, 23-16. Outside of my cough, I'm doing great because it's been horrible for the last 3 days, coughing up phlegm. But beyond that, work-wise, it's been good. Plus nearly 19 units over the last 3 days. MLB is on a let me refresh it, 11-3 run. So that's doing well. Got a couple of plays up there. Hit my 5% play yesterday in a rocking chair fashion. It was the over in the big Eastern Conference matchup, and that ended up being one of those games that we could really relax in the last 4 minutes, which is very rare. So it was 113 with 4 minutes to go. Needed to get to 232 and actually closed at 230.5. So now the 5% streak is at 10-1. We're looking to move to 11-1 tonight, so that 5 play is up, and there will be a 5% play tomorrow night. So I will plug that on a Wager Talk Last Call, which I will see you on in the AM. So things are going well. Soccer is currently everywhere around me, so I might be distracted when all the other gentlemen are talking. But other than that, things are well. Hope everything is great with you.
Lots of fun things going on. Aside from the spring cough, I just had it. I relied a lot on the mute button this week when it came to the shows, but we will hope to get past that. Steve Merrill, what's going on with you this week?
Yeah, Megan, great to be here. Nice Friday here. We got a couple NBA games to talk about. Yesterday, we only had the one. We did the advanced preview, of course, of the weekend series. So check out Thursday's replay of this show if you want some insight for Saturday and Sunday. I'm also going to come back later this evening with a Fade the Public Round 2 edition for both Saturday and Sunday's games between the Knicks, Heat, and Suns. The content here on Wager Talk TV for the weekend NBA. And I do have a strong best bet tonight on my page right now at WagerTalk.com. Number 1 in the NBA in 2023, up over 70 units of profit. Number 2 this year in return on investment in MLB. So it's a great time to be playing all sports. And don't forget, you buy 4 weeks right now, you get that 5th week included for free. No promo code needed. Oh, by the way, a bonus-free baseball play tonight also on my page, Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com.
All the fun things on Friday. Bryan Power, what do you have up this week at Wager Talk?
Well, got a rare 5% play tonight, Megan, on the docket in MLB going back to October. 47, 25, and 2 with all MLB 17 and 8 last 25 plays. So we've kept it going here in 2023. And you go all the way back to December. All sports, 67%. With 5% max bets. We don't have a ton of them. So really looking forward to tonight, going all in with the 5% play and kicking off the weekend. Got some soccer posted as well. I'll have plays on both weekend NBA games, both the Saturday game ones that are already set. Looking forward to talking about these game 6s here with all of you guys on Friday, finishing off the work week the right way.
Absolutely. 2 game 6 games we're going to discuss here. And if you haven't noticed, we have this fun new YouTube live feature where the comments, the questions show up on the screen. Maybe if we have time at the end of the show, we'll run through some of those, get some of your best bets. We do that on Last Call. Maybe we can, it is Friday, we can change things up today. As we break down these 2 games, let's head over out west. They're both out west. Our first game we have up on the card tonight is the Sacramento Kings at Golden State. Warriors are laying 7.5 points. Totals at 236, tip-off at 8 Eastern. Look, the Warriors are trying to close this out. Golden State's been dominant at home, 40, 17, and 1 against the spread at home. Sacramento's been that great story, but they're young. They're a high-powered offense. Unfortunately, the confidence might be closing out for this for the Sacramento team that's lost 3 straight against the Warriors. Bryan, do the Warriors close it out and get it done in Game 6 on their home court?
Well, Megan, I thought game 3 was the real tipping point in this series, obviously. The Warriors, they go into that game without Draymond Green, down 0-2 in the series. They were actually plus 170 to win the series at the time. A massive sea change after climbing as high as minus 300 before the series began. And that was really historic number of the odds makers coming in. No team seeded 6 or lower had ever been more than a 2-1 favorite to win a first-round playoff series going all the way back to 1990. So things have really switched because obviously, as you mentioned, the Kings win game 3. The Warriors win game 3. Game 4, they win game 5. I had said going into game 3, maybe to exercise caution with the Warriors because the efficiency numbers when Green, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson weren't all on the court together were pretty bad. But lo and behold, here they are, as you pointed out, chance to eliminate Sacramento on their home floor. Now, I'm not really interested in laying this many points against a team facing elimination, but Golden State's home road dichotomy is tough to ignore, as we all know. 35-8 straight up, 29-14 against the number at the Chase Center. And they do allow 10.5 points per game fewer at home than on the road. So I'm thinking, all right, maybe the under, but not after a game where both of these teams shoot sub 30% from 3. Megan, as you know, these teams could shoot the lights out. So one or maybe even both are probably due for a bounce back night. So this is what I'm looking at. How about the under 37.5 on Sabonis? His points, rebounds, and assists total has not cleared this number any of the first 5 games in the series, guys. In 2 games here at Golden State, he scored just 14 and 15. Did have a series high 16 rebounds in game 3 and a series high 8 assists in game 4, but I don't see him hitting either of those numbers tonight. He's not a guy you have to worry about hitting threes. That hasn't hit one in the series. And 4 of the 5 games, he's attempted 4 free throws or fewer, so he's not getting those extra points from the charity stripe. So I would look at Sabonis, 37.5 under points, rebounds, and assists if you're interested in playing this game 6 tonight.
Speaking of lights out, how about game 6 Klay? Klay Thompson is known to go off in game 6. He shoots nearly 50% from 3 in game 6. He brings the energy. He lights it up. Andy Lang, when I'm looking at player props, I can't help but eye Klay Thompson here. Is there something that you're eyeing specifically in this one?
Yeah, I really like the Sabonis look that Bryan gave out. I think we have to just buy into Kevon Looney over his rebounds. They said at 12.5, and it's a little bit juicy, but you got to take it anyways. I mean, he's just the one guy that Sacramento cannot keep off the boards, and Golden State now knows that, so he's just planting up by the rim and grabbing pretty much every rebound. They don't even need to crash the boards when he's in there, so I like Looney over that. Klay Thompson, I haven't had much success betting on Klay Thompson this year. So my personal rule is I pass on Klay Thompson, but that's just a me thing. I would look at Draymond Green over his assists and rebounds. They have it at 13.5. He had a big game shooting and scored 21 points. I'm a little worried about that. I believe he was 8 for 10 from the field. That's very unlike Draymond to shoot 80% from the field. So I think we see some regression there. I would be worried about taking a Draymond prop that involved the points. I actually do really like the team total of the Sacramento Kings, though. It's at 113.5. They've gone over this total in every game except one. That was when they had the clunker where they scored only 97 points. But they've been putting up big numbers. I think this game is close. The Sacramento Kings is never going to give up. They're going to keep coming and keep coming and keep coming, as we've seen in these elimination games. And anything can happen. The finger doesn't worry me for De'Aaron Fox. I still don't trust this Golden State defense right now. I think Sacramento fights till the end. It would not surprise me if they won, but I think this is a back and forth. I think there's a lot of points, and give me Sacramento over 113.5 on their team total.
That almost feels like a lock, Andy. Sacramento, one thing's for sure, they score points. This is the top offense in the league. Coach of the year, Mike Brown, a really successful story for Sacramento. Tony Mejia, will it be enough, though, Sacramento's high-powered offense to stop the defending champs, the Golden State Warriors, tonight?
I think they got to get off to a good start. That's going to be the key for Sacramento to hang around the entire game. I mean, they've done it the entire series in terms of giving themselves a chance to win. had a Harrison Barnes clean look to give them a 3-1 lead in San Francisco the last time they stepped into Oracle, and he missed. It was online, just short. And then Game 5 was there for both teams. I think experience went out in terms of the Warriors being able to execute down the stretch and give themselves the 3-2 lead. But certainly the Kings haven't shrunk in this series. Two keys. De'Aaron Fox shot 9 for 25. So I think the finger did hurt him a little bit in terms of his efficiency. And the other is, can the Warriors limit turnovers? Because that's been the Achilles heel all season long. They've proven that they can stop them on a Sabonis inside. They've proven that they've done a really nice job on the offensive glass to give themselves second chances. So I think that the Warriors will have an opportunity to pull away in the second half, especially once this late arriving crowd really gets into their seats. And that's why I think Sacramento needs to get off to a good start. This is a 5 p.m. local start. And diehard Warriors fans are going to have to play a little hooky from work or leave early there in Silicon Valley to make it into San Francisco and into their seats by the time tip-off arrives. So maybe there's a window there for the Kings to really play from ahead and from a comfort zone early on. I think that's going to be the key to it for a young team. The other factor that I'm looking for, I'll share at the end of the show as my best bet.
Yeah, I think Warriors fans might need to bring that coffin a little bit early in their workday if they want to make it in time for the 5 p.m. tip-off local time. De'Aaron Fox is the talk right now. What's he going to do? Sean Evans in the YouTube live comment says take his over points and assists at 33.5. And De'Aaron Fox has averaged 30 points this postseason, 7.5 assists. The finger could be an issue. Steve Merrill, are you eyeing specifically a player in this matchup, or should we be looking from the side's total perspective?
Well, I think De'Aaron Fox is definitely interesting to talk about. I mean, there's two ways to look at it. It's his second game with the brace on the left index finger, and he fractured the tip of it late in Game 4. So maybe he's more comfortable playing that way. But as Tony mentioned, his numbers were slightly down from the rest of the series. He had a solid 24 points, but he was averaging 31.5 coming in after the first 4 games. And the thing I look at is shooting percentage. And it was the first time he shot below 41% in any of the 5 playoff games. He had been high to mid 40s in all 4 games, shot just 36%. And he was also just 3 for 10 from 3, 30% versus 36, 33, and 50% in 3 of the other 4 games. So I do think it was bothering him. Whether it continues to bother him, we'll see. He's also on the road now. And as we pointed out, Golden State's had one of the most extreme home road dichotomies in NBA history in recent years. And what I keep pointing out, you would think it's a team that relies heavily on the 3. You would think it's the 3-point shooting that's not as good on the road. It's slightly weaker by a couple points, a couple percentage points. That's the norm for most NBA teams. What's been drastic, and the reason their home road dichotomy split record is so drastic, has been defense. For whatever reason, Golden State is much better defensively at home this year. I think a lot of that is focus on the road. They did pick it up down the stretch in April. They won 4 out of their final 5 road games. But at home, even in the regular season, let alone a big playoff game, their defense has been much better. So, obviously I'm not in a hurry to play unders with the Sacramento Kings or team totals because, as you said, Megan, they're all offense, no defense. But that is why Golden State's been better as a home team. And by the way, straight up 74% chance they win this game tonight as a 7.5 point favorite. 66% chance the Lakers win as a 4.5 point favorite, which means there's a 49% chance, almost 50-50, that both favorites win tonight and we do not get a Game 7. I think Golden State closes this series. You could definitely make an argument it's a high spread because, once again, this was the scenario in Game 4. They were coming off the Game 3 win. They got the win, but not the cover by just 1. And I really think that's when the series got away from Sacramento. Had a chance to go back home 2-2. Instead, they go back, had a chance to go back 3-1. Instead, they go back just 2-2. They lose Game 5, of course. And now I think they know where they're up against it. By the way, teams that lose 3 straight in the playoffs have been a long-term play against for decades. A lot of that's because 0-3 teams normally get swept, but even teams that lose 3 straight after winning a game have been a negative expectation play. So the line is big, but I think it's big for a reason tonight.
That's a good point on teams losing 3 in a row. The Warriors will try to continue that, make it 4, and send this series over, head over to round 2. Warriors, Kings, tip-off 8 Eastern. Let's go out west even more. We're talking LA Lakers, Memphis Grizzlies in LA, tip off 10:30 Eastern. Lakers -4.5, the total at 220. Grizzlies are looking to hold on with all they can. I do feel like Memphis can put up a bit of more of a fight. However, the Grizzlies have been terrible on the road. They've lost all 4 road games against the Lakers this season, 16-27 straight up on the road. I don't think that looks good, and I don't think the odds are in their favor if they want to hang on. So Brian Power, can Memphis and will they do it against the Lakers tonight and force a game 7?
Well, Megan, you mentioned Memphis's road woes. It goes back to last year. They have fallen 24 straight times as a road underdog. This year, 2-15 against the number in that role. So the trend's certainly against them. Now, I talked about this game on Wager Talk today with Teddy and Prez. Obviously, my view has not changed in the last 4 hours. So I'll just break it down again for you. Game 1 of this series was an anomaly. Lakers, they shoot 53% overall in that game, including 43%, 16-37 from 3. They win 128-112 as a 5-point underdog. But that is clearly the highest scoring game in the series. 3 of the last 4 have stayed under. The lone exception was game 4. What did that one do, guys? Went to overtime and still only made it over the total by just 4 points. Memphis in this series, averaging only 108.6 points per game on 42% shooting. We know about the struggles on the road. We just hit on that. Even after that win in game 5 at home, oh, by the way, they scored 61 in the first half. I don't see them scoring a ton in tonight's do or die game 6, Megan. And the Lakers, since game 1, that victory where they shot the lights out from 3, they've been very poor from 3-point range. 26% in game 2, 25% in game 3, 27% in game 4, and 25% in game 5. Is there room for improvement? Certainly. But for the season, LA only shooting 34% from 3, so I don't think the ceiling for improvement is that high. LeBron James, oh, by the way, those last 4 games, 3 of 28 from behind the arc. So he's certainly struggling. Memphis, a top 10 defensive team. And the Lakers, the 116 points they allowed last game, a playoff high going back to the play-in game versus Minnesota. The Lakers have played 3 times at home. Megan, they have allowed 98, 101, and 104 in regulation. I do not see a lot of scoring in this do-or-die situation for Memphis as the Lakers look to close out the series. My best bet, I'll just say it right now for the show, is the under on Grizzlies-Lakers Game 6.
A little best bet preview. I'm with you, Brian. Hey, the buzzer's coming in early. It's Friday. Everyone's trying to go home. The under seems like the move here. LA and Memphis have had low-scoring games as of late. LA put up 99 points in their last game, and the under is 5-1 for the last 6 Memphis games. Tony, do you see a side here that has some value, or would you lean on the total side, as Brian just mentioned?
Well, I do lean on the total side, but I'm not going to share it with you because it's my 5% play. So from that standpoint, I will go ahead and talk side. And this is going to be a great game because what you saw late in game 5 was Memphis really stepping up when it needed to, because the Lakers, playing with house money, had trimmed a big deficit and shut FedEx Forum up down to 1 point. And then the Grizzlies went on a ridiculous run and really started feeling themselves. And I think at this point, they've got some decisions to make. If Dillon Brooks, I don't think he's doing that great a job on defense where you can justify having him out there on offense throwing up bricks. You may just have to ride with Desmond Bane and then bring in Tyus Jones off the bench with Ja Morant, bring another ball handler out there to ease pressure. There's other ways they can go. They can go David Roddy, who's done a nice job standing up to LeBron James because he's despite being a rookie, has such a great body out there, physical and whatnot. There are multiple guys that they can throw in there that aren't Dillon Brooks. And Brooks does give you something in terms of his feistiness and the way he moves his feet on the defensive end. But if he's a liability on the offensive end, I think there are decisions to be made there. And certainly Xavier Tillman has held his own, which has been a real huge key in the series without Steven Adams. Obviously, Brandon Clark done for the season. Tillman has done a great job despite being undersized compared to Anthony Davis, just holding his own and getting rebounds and getting the Grizzlies second chances. The Lakers, I thought LeBron James, well, he said it himself. He played like bleep. And basically, he'll be better tonight. I thought he probably should have left the game earlier the other night. I thought Anthony Davis should have left the game earlier the other night. Will that catch up to the Lakers tonight? It could. I mean, I think Memphis definitely has the juice in their legs. This has been such an interesting series from a number standpoint. You had Memphis coming into this series. They were a 5-point road favorite in game one. And now basically the number has been 4.5 with the home team favored over the last couple of games. Pardon me, the Grizzlies were a 5-point home favorite. Then they were the Lakers were favored on the road in game two with no Ja Morant. So, I mean, at this point, you've also seen the number go from 228.5 to 218.5, which is where it opened this morning. And now it's at 220 for this game. It's still the lowest in the series. But to Bryan's point, the under has been the play 4 of the last 5 games. I mean, really, or all 4 games, really, all 4 in a row, because 3 times it hit, and the only time it didn't hit, and I was on this as a 4% play, it went to overtime, and it was really a bad beat for those of us that were on the under. So we'll have to see. Tony Brothers on the call tonight, same with Curtis Blair. We'll see if their excessive whistles make a difference into this one. But yes, if you are in a hole, or even if you're not, if you want to make some money late, 10 o'clock game, it's my 5%. Hop on board. Let's go move to 11-1.
A little 5% preview up at WagerTalk.com for Tony Mejia. I'm wondering about Anthony Davis in this game. AD's been great defensively. He's given a lot of trouble to Memphis, and he's been kind of that really strong defensive menace for the Grizzlies. However, the offensive performance by AD has been up and down. We've seen 2 games this series where AD's had over 30 points, and then there's been 2 games where he's had under 15 points. Steve, how important is Anthony Davis's performance tonight going to impact the Lakers as they try to go up against, Memphis, who's been relying a little bit more on scoring?
Yeah, I mean, I think they need both LeBron and AD to have solid games to close this series out. And it's interesting, guys are talking about how LeBron's not shot well at times. He's obviously aging, and that's why the Lakers are a 7 seed, right? That's why they were in the play-in round and had to win just to make the playoffs, is because a lot of load management, a lot of guys missing during the regular season. But when they turn it on with those 2 superstars and some better role players since they trade deadline, addition and subtraction, getting rid of Westbrook at the same time, this has been one of the best teams in the league. They've had one of the top records since the trade deadline. So, they're a good team. They're much better than their 7 seed, and they're probably better than Memphis, all things equal. And I thought it was a great spot to play Memphis in Game 5. I had a strong best bet for my clients the other night at WagerTalk in Game 5 for Memphis. It was a flat spot for the Lakers after the back-to-back home wins, the 3-1 series lead, but I don't think that's going to happen tonight. They're back on their home court, and more importantly, Memphis is on the road. And as Bryan mentioned, they've been a terrible underdog, and they've been just bad in general against good teams on a current 5-17 ATS run as an underdog, home or away. 5-17 ATS. So that tells me they can't step up against better teams in pressure situations and competitively priced games. I don't think that bodes well for the Grizzlies tonight. And I always like playing quality teams off a blowout loss in the NBA playoffs. It's a long-term winning angle for decades. And the Lakers once again qualify after the double-digit loss. So I think a lot of things set up for the Lakers to close out this series tonight. 66% chance mathematically they win straight up as a 4.5-point favorite. And as I mentioned, about a 74% chance Golden State wins. So 49% overall, but I think the odds are a little bit better that both California home teams win out. And I guess we might have Game 1 on Sunday because the Nuggets and Suns play Game 2 on Monday. So I think they will squeeze in Lakers Golden State Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, if they get a Game 1.
Well, as just a sports fan, I'm sure we would all love to see a Game 7, but the trends do not look like they're in Memphis's favor, as they have lost the 4 road games against the Lakers this season. Andy, knowing this about Memphis and how much they've struggled on the road, does it give you any insight and any leans into the prop market?
Yeah, Sean in the chat is already all over it. The one that keeps cashing is LeBron James, under 2.5 made 3-pointers. He's shooting horrifically. As Bryan said, 3 of 28. Just rinse and repeat LeBron to not make 3-pointers. And I got to say, I'm all in on LeBron over his rebounds. I just watched him, and I just thought last game he was kind of biding his time, seeing if his teammates could will the team to a win. He decided, tonight's not our night. Let's just wait until we go back home. I think this is a LeBron James game. I think he dominates inside. I think he and AD control the glass. I think you're going to see LeBron not taking plays off like he did the last game. He had 20 rebounds and 7 assists in the last home game. I think he comes up with a similar stat line. So give me over his rebounds and over his rebounds and assists. I'll keep it simple in this one.
Well, they look to close it out. The LA Lakers, Memphis Grizzlies tonight, 10:30 Eastern, right about 20 minutes away from me. I wish I could be there in person, but I'll be watching on TV along with the NFL draft. All right, we got to talk best bets and get out of here. 60 seconds on the clock. The rules are simple. Our panel goes around, gives us their best bet. We already got insight into one of them. But Steve Merrill, let's come to you. You have 60 seconds. You can do whatever you want with it, but you got to get out in time and you have to give us a best bet. Show us how it's done. Your time starts now.
Good look at a free NBA playoff best bet tonight in the late game for you between the Grizzlies and Lakers in just a second. Quick reminder, I do have a strong best bet in the early game at 8 Eastern between the Warriors and Kings, and you better pay attention. Number one ranked, nobody's won more units in 2023 in the NBA, up over 70 units already this calendar year. Going to add to it tonight with another strong best bet in the NBA playoffs. Baseball's been great as well. Currently ranked number 2 in return on investment already this MLB season. I've got a free baseball play for tonight on my page as well. But don't forget about the All Sports Special. Buy a 30-day all access, 4 weeks plus, and you get that 5th week added for free. So that's 37 days. Discounted price out of the gate. It works out to just less than $6.50 per day. Also, I'll have a weekend preview for the game ones for the next round on my Fade the Public series here on WagerTalk TV. Take the LA Lakers minus 4.5. They're in a flat spot in Game 5, but they closed it out at home tonight against a Memphis team that's just 5-17 against the spread as an underdog recently. Lakers are the better team in a focus spot. They close out the series tonight on Friday.
Perfect timing. We're not breaking rules on Fridays. Steve, I appreciate the amazing ability to keep with the rules. Sometimes we get a little off track on happy hour. Bryan, you might have given us a little insight to your best bet, but show us how it's done again. Your 60 seconds starts now. Uh-oh.
Breaking the rules, Megan. See, that's called cursing yourself.
I jinxed it. I jinxed it. This is, I'm
Joe
sorry,
Ranieri
Bryan. We'll come back to you.
Oops.
He's
was
back,
I on mute? There we go. There we go. See, I broke the rules once and I threw myself off. I got 43 seconds left. We can do this because you already know what's coming. The Lakers have only allowed 101 points in regulation. Their 3 home games since the playoffs started. This game tonight, Megan, is going under the total. It was as low as 218.5 this morning, so I certainly love it at 220. And just as a reminder, tonight, Major League Baseball, a very rare 5% play for me. I am 67% across all sports with 5% plays going back to late December, 47, 25, and 2 all MLB going back to last October, including 17 and 8, my last 25. So we've kept it going here in 2023, and we've got time to spare. There you go. No problem. Take the under in Grizzlies Lakers Game 6.
A minute, Bryan. We could do it in 44 seconds. And Andy Lang, we are not going to lose you this time. You have 60 seconds. We're ready for your best bet. Time starts now.
Best bet is up in the NBA. You'll get all sports today included. We've got MLB. We've got NHL on a 15-5 run. Xavier Tillman over 10.5 rebounds and assists. I played a little bit lower minutes in the last game, only 31 minutes, and he still got 10 rebounds and assists. Look what he did in the games at Los Angeles. He had 14 and 14 rebounds and assists. Dylan Brooks can be a liability on defense, and Tillman has brought some really nice aggressiveness, some muscle, and some help on the boards. I like his rebounding totals 6, 8, 12, and 13 his last few games, 4, 6, 2, and 3 on the assists. They're going to need him tonight. I expect the full workload of minutes from Xavier Tillman. He does not really get in foul trouble, so he only had 5 fouls one game. He should have a ton of minutes, should get over this total of 10.5 rebounds and assists.
With 5 seconds left, Andy, that is how it's done. Tony Mejia, you have 60 seconds. Best bet starts now.
All right. Well, yeah, let me remind you, not that I've not said it enough, 5% play tonight. It's on the total in Lakers Grizzlies. I'm on an 11-2 run on 5% totals, 10-1 run on all 5% plays. If it's 6 in a row, number one since I joined WagerTalk on 5% profits over 190 units, number one on 5% spread plays, number one on 5% totals. So 5% plays are pretty good. And we'll have one tonight and we'll have one tomorrow on Suns and Nuggets. For tonight's play, we like Game 6 Clay. You mentioned him. Last 7 games of the regular season, he hit over 4.5 3-pointers. 3 of the 5 games in this series, he's hit over 4.5 3-pointers. He hit 4 in one of the games. He hit 3 and 3 for 10 in the other. That was his worst shooting game of the series. Ironically, both of those games are at home, but now he's Game 6 Clay. And he really looked like he got in a rhythm in Sacramento in Game 5. So look for Klay Thompson to hit over 4.5 points in what should be a high-scoring Game 6 between the Kings and the Warriors.
Yeah, I'm definitely backing Klay in Game 6, shooting nearly 50% from 3 in Game 6 with Klay. All right, here's our best bets recap from our big panel today on Friday. Extra free bets for you guys. Feel free to take a screenshot of this. Get your plays in for Game 6. We appreciate you joining us here at the NBA Tip-Off Show. If you like this panel, 2 of them are going to be with us tomorrow morning on Last Call at 11 a.m. Eastern. Tony Mejia and Bryan Power, I believe, are joining us on Saturday. We'll break down more NBA, MLB. Hey, we got the NFL draft today, too. A fun day in sports. Go have a great, happy Friday. We'll see you here next time on the NBA Tip-Off Show.
A 30-day all-access pass is priced at $2.99, but for a limited time, we have discounted that price to $2.39, dropping the daily cost to $8.30 per day. Basically, we took $9 Monday, dropped the price, and we're giving you the option to lock the discount for a full 30 days. Even better, for a limited time, we are adding 7 days free. That's a $99 value to kick in once your 30 days expire. This brings your new daily cost to $6.40 per day. So outside of the discount on 30-day all access, we are tossing in a free 7-day all access and $99 value for a combined savings of $159. So to recap, for the next 37 days, you'll get all plays across all sports from your favorite WagerTalk or Sports Memo Handicapper played during your access, including 5% best bets for around $6.45 per day. Act fast as the special offer expires at midnight on May 1st.